This is a quick video in the speech anxiety series to talk about preparation as a strategy to lessen your speech anxiety. So, hopefully, this is not a completely novel concept, but the basic idea here is that the more prepared you are, the less nervous you'll be. So think of any kind of exam you're going into, an interview, some other stressful event. You know you have much more anxiety when you're not prepared. It's the same principle here. And what I want to emphasize in this video is how you can best prepare for your speeches. And again, acknowledging that we cannot address the stage fright and the specific elements of speaking anxiety for an audience, a bigger group. We can't do that. However, we can still talk about strategies for mitigating that anxiety when you eventually have to give a speech in front of a class or in front of a crowd. So you may be finding yourself in a situation even this semester where you have a presentation to give. Maybe it's an FYE, maybe the FYE presentations are in the spring. I'm not sure. But the point being, even though in this public speaking class that's online, you haven't had an opportunity to be in front of a group, it's coming. It's not too far away. So let's talk about preparation. So, the canons of rhetoric, which is the subject of 5 of our modules, are essentially principles of preparation. So you can think about these as steps, and sometimes the order doesn't matter. But for the purposes of this class, we do want to think about this as an order. So, first being invention. And invention is by far the most important step in the preparation process. So, I want you to think about your speeches. I want you to contemplate what you want to say and giving yourself the time and the space to contemplate, to mull over ideas, to brainstorm, to really reflect. That is a valuable part of your preparation process. And that's something that if you rush through that, the rest of it is going to, I wouldn't say be for naught, but if you're not sure of what you want to say, you can organize it well on paper and still be nervous and potentially not do a good job if you haven't really thought about what you said. The flip side to this is the memory part, which I'll get to, where you're really rehearsing. But after invention, we've got arrangement. So to this point, I haven't given you formal instruction on outlines or notes. In the module after the one that you're in where you're watching this particular video, we'll talk about arrangement and we'll talk about speaking outlines and preparation outlines and transitions. And arrangement is really putting together your ideas as a puzzle. So in invention, you're discovering all of the pieces of your puzzle. And in arrangement, you're making them fit together. And that is a crucial part of making sure your speech is clear and able to be understood by the audience. This necessarily doesn't help with the preparation to relieve anxiety piece. However, it definitely helps in the preparation to be clear purpose. Style is something that when we're talking about alleviating speech anxiety, this one's not super relevant. This is part of the preparation process when you're thinking about polishing, thinking about word choice. your sentences, your oral citations. So this is part of the preparation process, but not super key to alleviating your anxiety. Memory, on the other hand, really, really, really is. So I know that you all have a lot on your plates. And I totally understand that it's unreasonable for me to expect you to spend all of your time on COM 111 and practicing your speeches. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I am saying is you may be able to get away with the Go React video recordings. You're doing them, you might be doing a couple different practice tries, and that's good. But you should be treating those recordings as your final, like you only get one shot. So I encourage you to record yourself outside of Go React so that you can give yourself feedback or share it with a speech lab tutor. But more so than rehearsing, we want to think about internalizing your speech. When you study for an exam, say a biology exam or chemistry exam, to a certain point, you are memorizing, you are regurgitating information. However, if it's a well-designed exam, it's going to challenge you to apply your knowledge so that you're not just regurgitating. And this analogy is getting a little off topic, but my point is that you study. You study for those exams. You should be studying your own speeches. So before you even begin rehearsing, before you begin recording in Go React and re-recording and recording again, before you click submit, you should be going through this studying process. So looking at your notes, reading your outline, transforming that into a speaking outline, speaking extemporaneously. It's a process. And when we get to memory in a couple weeks, we'll talk about strategies for that. And then finally, delivery is this is while you're speaking. So this is no longer part of preparation, although you can certainly practice delivery, in your rehearsal process. So my point with this video in the speech anxiety sequence is I want you to think about your invention process as a strategy to lessen your anxiety. The more you think about your topic and what you want to say, and the more committed you are to what you want to say, your passion's going to come through, your confidence is going to come through, and the words are just going to flow out of you. So this whole canon of rhetoric is about preparation, but the invention process is where you find your inspiration for speaking. And I know your inspiration for speaking is you're taking a public speaking class and you have to do it, but try it. Spend some time with your ideas, get to know your ideas, reflect on your ideas before you move on to these other parts of the process. Time is a luxury. I get it. Take this for what it is. You may not be able to spend as much time as you want, but my hope is that at this point, you just haven't considered this as a strategy. So I want you to consider it as one of the many strategies we've talked about.